Okay, guys, check this out. Supervisor Henyard is here to tell you guys that she does have some supporters. Now, in times of crises, it's natural for people to seek solace and routine. And this might explain why some supporters are reluctant to abandon Super Mayor Tiffany Henyard amidst the allegations. However, it's crucial to remember that holding public officials accountable is vital to upholding the principles of democracy and ensuring transparency in governance. Now, ultimately, supporting Mayor Henyard during her involvement in this alleged criminal enterprise might not be the wisest decision. It is essential for supporters to reassess their loyalty and consider the broader implications of standing by a leader facing such serious allegations. And really quickly, guys, if you haven't already, I would appreciate you subscribing to the channel and liking the video. It gives me a lot of leverage with the algorithms. Back to the story. Thank you. Now, of course, this particular meeting highlights Thornton Township, where she is supervisor, but we also know that she holds the office of mayor for the village of Dalton. I guess we shouldn't be surprised that she has a few hangers on that are just kind of brainwashed, to be honest with you.
Tonight in South Holland, in a room filled with curiosity and concern, Tiffany Henyard addressed her constituents.
The Thornton Township Supervisor and Dalton Mayor invited the community to Township Talk, where she responded to our report about her use of the Township credit card by mentioning travel expenses. Nate Rogers live in South Holland with more. Nate.
That's right, John and Terrence. Tonight's meeting had a much different tone than what we've experienced previously at Dalton City Council meetings. Now, the room was full of Henyard supporters, and they wanted me to be sure to tell you that they applauded for her several times as she talked about the township being in a great place financially. Thornton Township Supervisor Tiffany Henyard, who's also the mayor of Dalton, hosting a township talk tonight. About 30 residents in attendance, Henyard staff talking about upcoming events as well as resources for seniors and struggling families. The majority of the meeting focused on property taxes and finances. Henyard showed residents how their property taxes have increased each year despite what their local mayors may have suggested. Staffers also distributed a breakdown of the township's finances from 2017 to current, where Henyard's team says years ago they were in a deficit of more than $2 million, and now, today, under her administration, her team says there's a surplus of more than $6 million.
Very appreciative to receive the information today. We have the best mayor ever. I've been here since 1993. And she's the best we ever had.
You know, you're doing a lot of programs, good programs for the, the senior citizens. And you're doing a lot of programs for, people who are on a fixed budget. But what about the people, the blue-collar people who are still carrying this, this town?
I was very appreciative of the transparency of the supervisor, Tiffany Henyard.
Were there any questions that you have at all?
No, right now I'm going to give her a chance.
With all due respect, ma'am, Supervisor Henyard has had her chance. As a matter of fact, she's had her chances with many S's. Her chance to act in good faith, integrity, honesty, loyalty, and service to the community. Now, there's no way we can dismiss the mayor's conduct, along with her underlings and their questionable conduct as well. Now, this isn't a coincidence. It's a trend of bad behavior. As the supervisor has ventured into the alleged criminal enterprise, her supporters seem oblivious to the reality of the situation unfolding right before their eyes. They fail to see the ethical and the legal implications of their leaders' actions, instead choosing to turn a blind eye to the glaring allegations of misconduct occurring within their community, all while showcasing a remarkable level of loyalty that seems to overshadow their rational thinking.
And this meeting comes one day after Fox 32's Dane Placco exposed what some are calling misappropriation of funds after traveling to Washington, D.C. in January for a U.S. conference of mayors. According to credit card records obtained by Fox 32, Henyard paid more than $9,100 for the trip. Expenses included conference payments, plane tickets for herself and her assistant Keith Freeman, hotel rooms, and a rental car. The issue, a Thornton Township credit card was used. Henyard apparently went representing her mayoral seat in Dalton. Her critics say there is a lack of transparency about the bills and credit cards. Tonight, Henyard did not specifically mention Washington, but in her last comments, she did address budgets for travel.
You know we have a budget for travel. I can't stand that they just put all that out there so bad for travel. And you should, for your other cities, other villages, library boards, park boards, school boards, and you'll see that they all travel. But yet, they put all this stuff on travel. And it's all legal. It's all legal. They try to spin it. And it's sad because they are doing a smear campaign.
Yeah, Henyard says that her critics are merely running a smear campaign because her mayoral seat and her supervisor seat are up for re-election next year. The FBI continues to investigate Henyard and her team in Dalton after several reports of misconduct. In South Holland, I'm Nate Rogers, Fox 32 Chicago.
Well, Supervisor Henyard, the smear campaign allegations, I guess we can just agree to disagree. And these people's unwavering support, although seemingly well-intentioned, ultimately draws criticism from people seeking accountability and transparency in local leadership. Now, despite the mounting evidence and public scrutiny surrounding Mayor Henyard and Supervisor Henyard and her actions, the public is scrutinizing this because it's simple. They want transparency. No one is offering their unwavering support and backing you in what they're seeing unfold right before their eyes. This is creating a very puzzling dynamic with these supporters, and it's leaving people scratching their heads in disbelief. What is going on? Like the disconnect between the supporters' perception of Mayor Henyard and Supervisor Henyard and the stark reality of her criminal allegations. This behavior highlights a concerning gap, right, in understanding the critical thinking of, the obvious of what we're seeing unfold before us. So in essence, what I'm saying is that the few hangers-on, Mayor Henyard's few supporters that I've personally witnessed really just don't seem to have the ability to recognize the seriousness of the situation. And ultimately, what they're doing is they're reflecting on something maybe that was there previously, maybe at the beginning. I'm not sure. But there is a clear lack of discernment and critical evaluation on their parts. Ultimately, I think that her supporters will find themselves at a crossroad, honestly, where their loyalty will clash with reality, right? And the principles of conduct, really. They're going to have to make a decision. Their well-intentioned behavior, I think, is just a symbol of misguided allegiance. That's my personal opinion in the face of this glaring misconduct and malfeasance, quite frankly, allegedly, that is. So stay tuned to Southern Confidential for more on this developing story and all things true crime. And if you haven't already, please take a moment to subscribe and like the video, and we will see you on the next video. This tea is piping hot.